in Torah, right?
So it's more of like the administrative costs, for example,
Yes,
yeshiva.
exactly. So administrative costs, exactly, to make it more comfortable. Okay, and you're paying for that comfort, but you're not paying for the Torah itself. Okay, and again, there are people who hold differently than the Rambam that you can take, and not everyone agrees. But I think what Hillel Hazaken is saying here is mainly that okay, more than the physical. Okay, more than the physical part, which the Rambam I said is very, very, very insistent on that you should not have physical gain from it. Okay, Hillel is more talking about the spiritual, right? Because you can easily say that, right, everything else we said is not talking about something physical, rather something more spiritual. All right, now let's look at the Tiferet Israel. He really puts this um, into an orderly way. He says there are four actions that the arrogant person sins. Okay, the first one we talked about is where is trying to gain fame from sorry trying to gain fame, or rather chasing fame. And now let's look at the second. The second action, all right, I'm the one with the line that starts in bold. One who does not increase decreases. The second action, stemming from arrogance, is refusing to learn. I'm just calling you. Is refusing to learn and increase wisdom, either because they think they already know enough, right? How arrogant is that? To think you know everything already, and for therefore you're not learning. Okay, and I think also what we can say. I don't think he says it here. Um, is that we know that right, not remembering something or forgetting something, that's something that creeps up on you, right? You know, you remember something, you remember something, you remember something, and then after a while, stuff happens, life happens. You know, 2 weeks go by, you completely forget it. Okay, so you learn something new, and if you don't repeat it, okay, if you're not active in remembering it, you'll forget it. Okay, so um, I think that's another explanation we can give to the fact that the one who does not increase decreases. Okay,
Automatically.
yeah, that's just the nature of things.
That goes without saying.
Yeah. So, but that's not what the Tiferet Israel is talking about here. He's saying as he said, this is talking about arrogance. Okay, and the one who refuses to increase wisdom, whether it's because they are so arrogant that they think they already know everything, or another possibility that he gives is the fear that the teacher will see their ignorance. Okay, so that's a different kind of arrogance, right? Not wanting to look stupid. Okay, which is, I think, a place where many people, feel that fear of not asking the question, or so what the Tiferet Yisrael is saying here, don't be afraid to ask questions. Um, we'll touch on that more when you get further into Masechta, but um, he's giving two examples of how that who does not increase decreases. Therefore, it is said, one who does not increase in learning will be gathered before their time. The purpose of human life is to increase perfection, and the one thinks they have already completed all they need. Why live? Means okay.
Yeah, that's
Very
great.
simple
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
Done.
that's very
Okay,
good. Yeah.
if you're not here for, if you think you know everything, then
Then
there's nothing left for you
you
to
have
do
no
here.
purpose. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we see this in the modern age a lot, that people have heard studies of how this is one of the most, um, the depression has risen dramatically ever since, chat, definitely the AI and all that technology has erupted. But I think it started even before that knowledge is so abundant nowadays. I mean, it's so easy to get knowledge that people have nothing, to aspire for. All right. Or it's hard to find something to aspire for because you're like, oh, you get this feeling that everything is known. There's nothing more to discover.
Exactly.
How depressing is that? Okay, obviously it's not true, but it's definitely a thought that can pass people's mind, and therefore, you know, if you don't find a reason to learn more and to study more and to be curious about something, then you really are losing the maybe the thrill of life. Um, and let's move on to the third action. The third action stemming from arrogance is refusing to teach. Okay, so we see that he translates this a little different. One who does not learn, but we said one who does not learn. But another way to translate it is um, is the one who does not teach. Okay, um, to translate the Aramaic saying. So he translates it a little differently in saying, one who does not teach deserves death. Now, as we said, that's a little harsh. Let's see what the Tiferet Yisrael says. How does one lead to the other? The third action from arrogance is refusing to teach others what they know, thinking that if they teach, their own power will be diminished, or because the student seems unworthy to their attention. Okay, so once again, we're talking about a very arrogant person. Baruch haba boaz. Um, okay, um, so not teaching out of arrogance is also a very bad trait. Um, as the sages say, and many are those who has killed. This refers to one who is qualified to teach, but does not. It is like withholding milk from nursing infants, causing their death. Therefore, their fate is death. This applies not only to Torah, but to anyone who knows something needed for the world and does not share it, when not needed for their own livelihood. Okay, and once again, I think this touches exactly on what the point we were talking before. Okay, if there's something you know that people are less knowledgeable about and you are more knowledgeable about, and this is true even for your like close, there's something you're good at, let it shine. Okay, bring it out to the world, because as we said, that's part of the reason why you're here. Okay, and I think that's true also if you have this incredible ability, whatever it is. Okay, you have an ability to influence people for good, you should go ahead and do it. And if you're not doing that, then you're not fulfilling your purpose. And that's why you're worthy of death, because if you're not here to fulfill the purpose that God put you there in these circumstances to do.
Shouldn't insist.
Exactly. All right. And then let's find a replacement. Let's find someone who will. Okay. Like Rabbi Yochanan, who worked hard to learn the cure for a certain disease, and once he knew it, immediately taught it publicly. And about Ben Kamzar and his colleagues who refused to teach their knowledge, it is said, their name will be wicked and will rot. Okay, so he's giving two examples, one for the better and one for the worse, of people who've done exactly that. And since we are already 10 minutes over our time. Let's quickly look into the last one. The fourth action of arrogance is performing righteous deed and good work only to be glorified in the eyes of others, not to serve God, but to serve themselves. If it is um, as if it were idolatry. Therefore, the punishment is one who uses the crown, that is, one who uses the crown of holiness to support their own rotten pride, will also lose their honor and pass away like a fleeting shadow. Meaning, this is the worst of all right? As we said, you're here for a purpose, and not understanding that you were put here in the purpose and the place where you derive that purpose from, that's the worst. Okay, that's the worst, and therefore you lose the honor you had, but also it's okay. So you'll not only die, but you'll die shamefully. Okay, um, they pass away like a fleeting shadow, never attaining the paths of life. Okay, so um, these are two schools of thought, and then we'll dive more into another saying of Hillel next week. Thank you all for coming. And I'm sorry for the delay for those at home.
Is there an argument against this? All of this? Like, is there another rabbi who came and say,
Nothing that comes into my head right away.